Hey there again. I know it's been a long time since probably anybody has seen me do a video on here. I did the whole thing about me doing the NaNoWriMo, which was a long time ago. Then I did kind of one middle post when I was kind of having a bad day and people around me were having bad days, and it just, it's been a long time. It's most obvious. And of course, I now have my headphones on. I just figured this will cut out a little on the background noise. Hopefully, it does help if there was any, because I just figure it's going to be work out better. But I also figured that doing a video this way rather than typing this out is something I'd rather do for this particular post today, because I think that at least at one point in your life, should you have Asperger's, or should somebody around you have Asperger's, or maybe even some kind of other what they call disorder, needs to have it said to their face. And what you need to hear is that stop saying disorder. I don't personally believe in the word disorder. It's not a disorder. That makes you think that something is wrong, that it's bad, that it's weird, that it's, any of those other negative connotations that people seem to think all the time when somebody hears that you have a disorder of some kind. And it's not a disorder. I've had many conversations about this with other people and other people who actually have disorders, or who have a son or daughter who has a disorder. And a lot of us have come to the consensus that it's just a different way to see the world. We see things differently. Sure, sometimes we're going to miss things. We're going to mess up, because that's just part of who we are. We're going to screw up. Everybody screws up, but if they're going to screw up in their own way. But sometimes we can see so much more than anybody else in this world. It doesn't matter if you have a disorder attached to you or not. You could see things in a way somebody else might not. You can create things that somebody else wouldn't, because you're not everybody else. You are you. And I think you shouldn't feel bad because you have a disorder. If somebody's trying to make you feel bad because you have one, tell them to go away. It is not up to them to decide what you're going to do or what you're going to be in life. It is up to you, completely, 100% up to you. Don't let somebody else make that decision for you, or make you feel like they're taking that option away, that because you have a disorder, you can't do something. There are people who have things like autism who can't even get up out of a chair on their own. They are in wheelchairs and things like that, but they can paint. There was that girl I actually saw on the news like probably a year or two ago, who actually does like to paint because she loves color. Her paintings are in a library somewhere that everybody can see, and they paid her for these things. If she can do something just that simple, why can't the rest of us do the exact same thing? There are so many people out there that have done amazing things who have something called a disorder attached to them. And the only reason people that don't have disorders call it a disorder is because they don't understand it. It's not quantifiable. You can't measure it by any means necessary currently. Sure, you could say, oh, they have a severe disorder or not so severe disorder, but outside of that, everything changes from person to person because of the way they live their life or the surroundings they are in. It's going to change. And whether you put them all in the exact same situation or not, it's still not going to be the same. You can't make everything the same. Nobody can be pigeonholed when it comes to a disorder. So I say, don't call it a disorder. Say, I don't know, call it, a new way to view the world. Call it whatever you want to. But instead of putting this negative spin on everything, put a positive spin on it. And for those of you who don't have a disorder that are probably here maybe because somebody else has a disorder and you're trying to learn about it, sure, it may be hard for you to understand at first. Who wouldn't have a hard time? Because things can always change on a daily basis. You don't know how somebody's going to react. Take a breath, take a step back, and just allow time for processing. Figure it out, but listen. Don't just hear somebody when they're talking to you. Really listen and try to understand what they're actually saying and not what you think they are saying. If you can't figure it out, then ask them. Don't assume anything about them. That just makes the whole situation that much worse. If you have a disorder, I know every day is a struggle to try and make it day by day and to appear normal. Again, that's another word I hate, normal. There is no normal. There never is, there never was. It's just a word that's created by people who have the most power. And that's people who don't have disorders. They have all the money, they have all the everything that they ever need. People who have disorders are on the bottom, so they can't create the social order. But we can create our own. With these people, when you have a disorder, give people who don't have one a chance. Don't fling it in their face and expect that they're just going to understand because they have to, because you have a disorder. It's not poor you. It's not, oh, everybody should pity me because I have a disorder, or that they should know up front. If you really want to have people in your life and have people understand you, have relationships, friendships, boyfriend, girlfriends, whatever, you're going to have to take it easy. Allow them a chance to get a piece of it at a time so they can take time to understand it. And if they're not going as fast as you would hope them to be, just realize that there's a lot of the times you want people to understand you and they can't. And if you take a long time to understand somebody else, maybe they just need just as long to understand you and what's going on with you. So understand each other. Take the time to take a step back and understand, because that's what it's going to take for things to work out. You really need to let this sink in. I've had a lot of conversations with friends about this when they've been really down and stuff, and I have tried to tell them every day that it's not about you. It's not that you have a disorder. It's that there's the stereotype that people who have disorders are somehow less, that they can't do it all, they're not as intelligent, they're not as whatever the said stereotype is. Or maybe even the stereotype is that we all go to our schools and shoot up the school because, some kid in the news did that, and now they think, oh, we're all that kind of person and we shall be locked up or something. It's time to break the stereotype. Don't be the stereotype. Don't use your disorder as a crutch to say you can't do something, or to say that somebody needs to be kinder to you because you do have one. It's not up to the world to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy and not let the world take advantage of you, or you try to take advantage of the world because you think you are earned or owed something. There's nothing worth having in this world that you don't have to work for. And when you do work for it, you enjoy it so much more than if you're just handed it, because then you can't appreciate what you have anymore. So I know I'm kind of on a soapbox here, but I think that these are things people need to hear. If you have not read my book, I believe there is a link down in there somewhere for the page that I have it on. If there is not, I will look and I will post one in the comments of this video on YouTube, because these are on YouTube, or I will post it inside the same post on my blog page with the post. So read it. Take a time, take however long you need to read it, and really understand where I'm coming from. It's not a one size fits all shirt. This is my life as Asperger's, and maybe some of your friends around you seem to have these kind of things. If they do and it helps you understand them better, that's good. But this is just a starting point. Everybody has their own story, and you need to take a chance to learn it, whether you have a disorder or not. So that's my soapbox for today, and just remember to be very understanding and allow for understanding to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. So hopefully this message was well received. If not, well, I'm sorry, because it's time to stop being so afraid of being a disorder. It's your life, just live it. I hope the rest of you have a good day, and I hope that you can go from here on out and say, I'm going to really keep my mind open to other options. Let that be your homework for today. So, have a good day. Have a happy Valentine's Day, should that be your decision. Or if you're single, happy Singles Awareness Day. Have a nice day.